Alright guys, so we're going to start out with practice A, and in the first one, they're just asking us to say if it's a solution or not to the system, so we need to substitute in. When you substitute in 3 in for the x, 1 in for the y, and negative 4 in for the z, you get that negative 9 equals negative 9. You're going to do the same thing for the next two. 3 in for this, 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 1 is 2, and negative 4 goes in for z. 15 and 2 is 17, 17 minus 4 is 13. Your last one, you have 2 times 3, which is negative 6. Then you have 3 times 1, which is 3, and then minus 3 times negative 4. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12, so that's 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. So this, number 1, does become a solution to your system. Let's now take a look at number 3. Number 3 says that y equals negative 3. We also have 2x plus y is 5, and then x minus 2y plus z is 6. All I need to do is take this fact and put it in right here using substitution. So 2x minus 3 equals 5. So 2x equals 8. So x equals 4. I know my x and y, and the only thing left to find is my z. So my x is 4, my y is negative 3, and we are solving for z. I have 4 minus 6 plus z is 6. When you add 6 and subtract 4, you're going to get like that. Alright, so I went back through real quick and I just fixed my signs. I just made sure that I have a negative 2 and a negative 3 to equal the positive 6. So now we're going to subtract the 6 from both sides. Alright, so positive 6 and negative 6 cancels away, and you're left just with z equals negative 4. So that's your ordered triple, and your answer for that one is going to be 4, negative 3, negative 4. Alright, let's move on to number 5. It says that we have an A equation. Our A equation is going to be 3x minus y is 3. And I'm going to go ahead and solve this out for y. I'm going to add y and subtract 3 from both sides. So I have y equals, and then these two terms, 3x minus 3. B, I've got negative x plus 2y minus 5z is negative 6. And then for C, I've got 4x minus 2y plus 3z is 8. Here's how we're going to do this. You want to take this information and then substitute it in for your y values. So every time you see a y, that's where you're going to put this info. So let's take our B line. We had negative x plus 2. And then instead of writing y, we're going to substitute in 3x minus 3, and then finish out our equation. And then if I distribute, this means that I'm going to have negative x plus 6x minus 5z is negative 6. So 5x minus 5z equals 0. Add 5z to both sides, and you get 5x is 5z. And then when you solve for x, you get that x equals z. Not too bad. Let's go on to the C line. The C line is where we're going to take the 3x minus 3 and substitute it in for the y, because that's what we know y equals. So we're going to have 4x minus 2, and then 2 times 3x minus 3, and so on. And then we'll finish out our equation. Let's distribute, and we get 4x minus 6x plus 6 plus 3, z equals 8. So let's combine our like terms. We're going to have negative 2x plus 3z equals to 2. Now I'm going to have 3z equals 2 plus 2x. Dividing by 3, I get z equals 2 over 3 plus 2 over 3x. And then this will be my next intermediate solution. Okie dokie. These two equations are what I actually care about, because this is the solutions that I'm trying to work with. So if I know that x equals z, then what I'm going to do is, instead of z here, I can also write x, because if these are the exact same thing, then this z we can turn into an x. So we're going to write it over here. X equals 2/3 plus 2/3 x. Alright. So I can, since I have a 3 in the denominator, for all of my terms, I can put a 3 down here, but I have to balance it with a 3 up here. And this is just the same thing. 3 divided by 3 is just 1. So I haven't really changed anything. I've just changed the way that it looks so that I can add and subtract my fractions easier. Now I'm going to subtract 2/3 x from this side. And I've got 3 of something minus 2 of something is 1 of something. And then bring my 2/3 down. Now we get x alone by dividing by 1/3. And we need to do a little fraction work here to finish this out. This says that x equals 2/3 divided by 1/3. Remember your fraction rules on this one. You want to keep, change, and flip. You're going to keep the first fraction, change the division to multiplication, and flip the second fraction. If I have a 3 in the numerator with multiplication against a 3 in the denominator, 3 divided by 3 will just be 1. So now I'm just left with 2. So x equals 2. If x equals 2 and x equals z, we also know that z equals 2. So from here, we just need to take our x and our z, and we need to solve for y. So I can go, I'll write it back up here to the original equation, or any one of the other equations, and I can say, okay, 3, my x was 2, minus y equals 3. So all I did was I took what I knew, x equals positive 2, z equals positive 2. I went up to my very top equation, and I said, okay, well, everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put in a 2. So 6 minus y equals 3. So that means negative y equals negative 3. So y equals 3. So my last order triple needs to be 2, 3, 2. Alright, that's number 5. I'm going to zoom out so you can see the final notes here. That's number 5. Let's go on now to number 7. So again, I set up my equations for number 7. I think this one will probably be the easiest to work with, so I'm going to add x to both sides and subtract 9 from both sides. So my new b equation is going to be that x equals, and then I have these two terms, 2z minus 9. Now I'm going to take this information and substitute it into here and to here. So if x is 2z minus 9, we're going to substitute that in here. So my a line should be 2 times 2z minus 9 plus 3y equals z. That's 4z minus 18 plus 3y equals z. So I've got 3z plus 3y equals 18. Now let's go for equation C. Equation C, we're just going to substitute in what we know x to be into the equation. So 2z minus 9 is going to go right here. So 2z minus 9 plus 5y plus 3z equals 4. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. And I can combine this and this. So I've got 2z plus 3z is 5z. And then 9 plus 4 is 13. Okay, so I've got my two systems of equations here. And they just have two terms, so now I'm ready to work with them. I'm going to use this equation first because 3, 3, and 18 are all multiples of 3. So I'm going to say this equation, 3z minus 3, plus 3y equals 18. And I will just subtract a 3y from both sides. So I have 3z equals 18 minus 3y. Dividing by 3 gives me that z equals 18 divided by 3 is 6. 3 divided by negative 3 is negative 1y. So 1z equals 6 minus 1y. So let's go ahead and substitute in. If I know that z equals 6 minus 1y, I'm going to say that 5, and instead of z, I'm going to put in 6 minus 1y plus 5y is 13. This is 30 minus 5y plus 5y equals 13. This will go to 0 and cancel, so I've got 30 equals 13. This is a false statement, so I can put no solution. Alright, let's tackle number 9. It says that a movie theater has a family of 2 adults, 1 student, 1 child, can attend a movie for $15. An adult tickets cost as much as student and child combined. You purchase 1 ticket, 4 student tickets, 2 child tickets for $23. So that's all the different pieces that we need to include here. So the first thing I can include, movie family has 2 adults, 1 student, and 1 child. So 2 adults, 1 student, 1 child. And it's gonna be about $15 to do that. Cross all of that out. 1 adult ticket costs as much as the combined cost of a student and a child ticket. And then you purchase 1 adult ticket, 4 student tickets, 2 child tickets, and it costs $23. So let's figure out how much the pricing is. Alright, we already know that A equals S plus C, so we're going to take that information and substitute it in here and here. Alright, so your A line will be 2 times S plus C plus S plus C equals 15. 2S plus 2C plus S plus C equals 15. 3S plus 3C equals 15. Now from here, I'm going to solve this out for one of the variables. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Subtract 3C from both sides. I'm going to get 3S equals 15 minus 3C. So S equals 5 minus C. Okay, line B, we're going to substitute in for A, this S plus C up here. So I'm going to say S plus C plus 4S and then plus the 2 children ticket is $23. So 5S 5s plus 3c equals 23. And I already know that s equals 5 minus c. So I'm going to take this and substitute it in for me. So 5 times 5 minus c plus 3c equals 23. This is 25 minus 5c plus 3c equals 23. That gives me negative 2c equals negative 2, so that c equals negative 1. Alright, let's pause here and substitute back in for the other equations. If c equals negative 1, that means that s equals 5 minus negative 1, so s equals 6. Whoops. There we go. C equals positive 1 here. That means that children do not get in. They're not going to pay children to go to the movie theater. You have to pay $1 for each child ticket. That means 5 minus 1 is 4. So each student ticket costs $4. $1 and $4 is C and S. And if we know that A equals S plus C, we can say that A equals, my S was 4, my C was 1, so A equals 5. So those are all three of my ticket prices. I've got adults are $5, students are $4, and children are $1. Last question that we're going to take on today is number 10. It says that the triangle has a perimeter of 90 centimeters. We're going to determine and then figure out if it's a right triangle. So we know that the perimeter is 90 centimeters. So n plus L plus M equals 90. That's our perimeter equation. We know that a squared plus b squared has to equal c squared. And we have a bunch of different equations here that we can try to substitute in for. And we can say n is n. L is 5 over 4m minus n. So n plus 5 over 4m minus n. And then m over here was 5n minus 5. So we're going to say plus 5n minus 5 equals 90. So n plus 5 over 4m minus n plus 5n is plus 4n. We can add 5 to both sides so that it equals 95. So 5n plus 5 over 4m equals 95. We can subtract 5n here, and we're going to get 5 over 4m equals 95 minus 5n. We're going to multiply both sides by 4 over 5. 4 divided by 4 is 1, 5 divided by 5 is 1, and we got to do it on both sides, so 4 over 5. Alright, 95 divided by 5 is 19. 19 times 4 is 76. So we're going to say m equals 76 minus, and again, 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4, so this is going to be minus 4n. So here's another way to write m, like that. So if that's true, we can take this information and put it right over here. So that 5 over 4 times 76 minus 4n minus n equals L. And that's this equation right here. Alright, 76 divided by 4 is 19. 19 times 5 will give us that 95 back. Minus 5n minus n equals L. 95 minus 6n equals L. And we can keep on going through this and through this until we get our other equation in here, which was our a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And we'll talk about that just as soon as we start this next video.